Animals regularly sacrifice their own safety for strangers, something most people never expect. From daring rescues to unexpected caregiving, these selfless feats will blow your mind, and number one is something almost nobody guesses, so stay tuned. Surprisingly, a pod of bottlenose dolphins once guided a stranded whale calf back to deeper waters, shielding it from predators, and even pushing it toward safety with coordinated nudges. Researchers observed the dolphins forming a protective circle, using their bodies to block waves and deter sharks while the calf struggled. The effort lasted several hours, demonstrating a level of interspecies empathy rarely documented in marine environments. Scientists suggest the dolphins recognized the calf's distress signals and responded instinctively, highlighting complex social cognition beyond their own species. This daring act set a high bar, but a bird's rescue will eclipse it next.
Imagine a lone elephant calf, abandoned after drought, being gently lifted onto the back of a mature matriarch who then leads it to a water source. The elder not only provides protection from predators but also shares food and teaches the youngster essential survival skills. Field studies in African reserves have recorded such guardianship lasting months, with the calf integrating into the herd and eventually thriving. This behavior underscores the deep familial bonds and cultural transmission within elephant societies, where older members often adopt orphans as part of their social responsibility. While heartwarming, the next story about a small mammal sacrifice will raise the stakes even higher.
Researchers have filmed meerkat sentinels sprinting out of the burrow to sound an alarm at the first sign of a predator, then rushing back to the safety of the group. The sentinel's vigilance allows foragers to feed uninterrupted, and the alarm calls are specific to different threats, showing sophisticated communication. In some cases, a sentinel will sacrifice its own foraging time, exposing itself to danger for the benefit of the colony. This cooperative vigilance has been linked to higher survival rates across the pack. Yet the following tale of a primate's self-sacrifice will push the concept of altruism into new territory.
Hidden among the canopy, bonobos have been observed offering ripe fruit to unrelated individuals, even those from neighboring groups. The sharing often occurs after a successful hunt, with the donor pausing to extend a piece of food before any conflict arises. Scientists interpret this as a strategy to reduce aggression and strengthen social bonds, fostering a more peaceful coexistence across territories. Such generosity challenges the notion that primates are strictly competitive. While impressive, a marine mammal's protective act will eclipse this altruism in the next rank.
Incredible as it sounds, vampire bats practice reciprocal blood sharing, where a well-fed bat regurgitates a small meal for a hungry roostmate that failed to find a host. This behavior, known as reciprocal altruism, ensures that no individual starves during lean nights and promotes long-term cooperation within the colony. Studies have shown that bats remember who helped them and are more likely to return the favor, creating a social credit system. The act is risky, exposing the donor to predators, but the benefits of group stability outweigh the costs. The next example involves a top predator protecting its prey, highlighting an even more surprising alliance.
Remarkably, an orca once intervened when a surfer was tangled in a fishing net, nudging the rope away and guiding the person toward shore. Witnesses reported the massive whale circling protectively, using its powerful tail to create a current that pushed the swimmer away from danger. Marine biologists suggest the orca recognized distress signals and responded with a level of empathy rarely attributed to apex predators. Such interactions are sparsely documented, making each encounter a valuable insight into cetacean intelligence. Though awe-inspiring, the upcoming insect story will reveal an act of self-sacrifice that rivals even this marine marvel.
Few people know that when floods threaten a colony, fire ants will form a living raft, linking their bodies together to keep the queen and brood afloat. The workers sacrifice their own oxygen supply, clustering tightly to increase buoyancy while the queen rides atop the makeshift vessel. This collective effort can last days, allowing the colony to drift to safety until the waters recede. Researchers highlight this as a prime example of emergent teamwork, where individual sacrifice ensures the survival of the genetic core. Yet a bird's daring rescue of a mammal will showcase an even broader interspecies compassion.
Unlikely as it sounds, Ravens have been recorded bringing shiny objects and even small food items to hikers who leave treats in the woods. The birds seem to learn that humans who provide food receive occasional gifts, establishing a mutual exchange. Ethologists note that these interactions may stem from the raven's high intelligence and curiosity, allowing them to form rudimentary trade relationships. While the behavior appears playful, it also reflects an understanding of reciprocity, a trait once thought exclusive to mammals. The penultimate story, however, involves a massive mammal whose protective instinct will dwarf even this clever avian exchange.
Witness a massive hippo surfacing near a grazing herd just as a pride of lions approaches, letting out a thunderous bellow that startles the predators and forces them to retreat. The hippo's loud warning not only protects its own territory, but also inadvertently shields nearby herbivores, reducing the chance of a successful hunt. Scientists propose that the hippo's keen hearing and territorial instincts trigger this defensive behavior, which benefits the broader ecosystem by limiting predator pressure. This interspecies alert system is rare, yet the number one example will astonish even the most skeptical viewers.
Finally, deep in Borneo's rainforest, an orphaned infant gorilla was found clinging to a fallen log, trembling and alone. A lone female orangutan, having lost her own infant months earlier, approached the baby, cradled it gently, and began feeding it with ripe fruit and leaves. Over weeks, the orangutan taught the gorilla basic foraging techniques, protecting it from leopards and guiding it to safe sleeping nests. This cross-species adoption lasted nearly a year until the gorilla reached independence. Researchers describe the event as an extraordinary display of empathy that transcends species boundaries, cementing the list's message: nature harbors profound altruism that challenges the myth of relentless brutality.
We've just explored 10 astonishing examples of animals putting others before themselves, proving that cooperation and compassion run deep in the wild. These stories not only challenge the old belief that nature is purely ruthless, they also inspire us to rethink how we view animal societies. If you enjoyed this journey into selfless behavior, subscribe so you don't miss the next mind-blowing list we drop every week. Which altruistic act resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts below, and if you found the video fascinating, give it a like. Your support keeps the channel thriving.